Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from the SIMS Hospital. I am Dr. Rupesh Shah, consultant urologist and uro-oncologist practicing since last 7 years. As we all know that we are entering in a new era, that is a COVID-19 era, because lots of new things are coming as government has increased the lockdown for the up to the 3rd May. So we all are waiting for what to do after that. So basic aim of doing such activity is that what is post-lockdown, how will you practice after lockdown, and what are all safe precautionary measures that you wanted to take during after your practice. So before that, we need to understand that what precautions we should take, how this virus transmit, what are the basic pathology of the virus, and how is the infectivity and mortality by the virus. So it is very much important, and all these data had came over the period of last 1 month only, because uh, before December no one was knowing about corona. So what the last pandemic was in 1918. So after 100 years we are facing such kind of situations. See, coming to the COVID-19, any infected individual, major source of infection is a droplet, that when a patient cough or sneeze, that particle will go up to the 1 meter, and on that surface, whether if you touch or either in direct or indirect contact, and that may causes the infection to you. So direct aerosol transmission is little bit less of this virus. So anything around 1 meter is very much important, and this important aspect of this virus, it is very much susceptible to alcohol-based all disinfectant. So no need to sterilize or no need ETO. We need only a disinfection. Good disinfection is sufficient for virus. This was a prediction that has been done by the John Hopkins Institution on March 26th, that if India had peak of around 25 lakh infected case in the month of April or May, then probably we'll have a dropout early. But now we are entering in the third curvature. Probably we are having very slow rising cases, and the peak might come in the month of June, and these situations are going to be there up to the month of August. So we don't know for next 6 months these kind of things are going to be around. So daily cases even in India are increasing, maybe around 12,000 every day. It is going to raise till May or June, we don't know. So coming to the urology, the recent article from the JAMA has very much described what all body fluid secretions contain the virus. So probably as a urologist, we are safe that urine contain almost nil or less than 1% of the virus. So any endourological procedure might be safe during that time. Which are the testing method available to us? It is very much scarcity from the government, that we are not getting enough kit, and lots of news are going on. But what is available is only that polymerase chain reaction PCR test that we are offering to the patient at present. Either you collect nasal or nasopharyngeal swab or from the bronchoalveolar lavage. IgM, IgG antibody, I don't think so it is available at present. And CT chest, yes, definitely it is widely available, but when to do is a dilemma for that. And if you are planning for any surgery, you definitely can offer CT chest for that. But if you are planning for malignant case, it could be a part of your metastatic evaluation. And if you are planning some emergency situations, and if you think that your patients are might have, then you should offer CT scan chest. Otherwise, probably there is no role. This graph is very much important, how the infectivity. Initial 5 to 7 days, patient will have maybe in asymptomatic stage. After 7 days, IgM antibody will detectable, and after 14 days, gradually patients become safer IgG antibody, and that will remain longer duration of time. So we all know that it will take time. We don't have enough facility to recognize which are asymptomatic carrier and which are. So at present, we need to consider almost all patients are positive when we are offering a surgery. What are the surgical emergency? During the time of lockdown, I think all routine OPDs are closed. Even we had stopped our routine OPD, but only emergency we have to do it as a healthcare professionals. So by and large, COVID-related symptom, it's non-urological tract. are relatively safe for the COVID. But yes, definitely in a COVID positive patient, you might get some emergencies. Patient might have a either infected hydronephrosis or obstruction in a positive COVID patient. Or otherwise, if your patient is COVID negative or untested, but you have to treat as a positive patient. So you have to prioritize the case on the basis of merit, urgency, and your available resources. So your individual is very crucial. You have to explain to the patient pros and cons of the procedure, and only in emergency at present. But after that, after the lockdown period, you might have to consider safety protocol. So take a COVID consent. Explain that potential risk of transmission while they are in the hospital and its consequences. Probably you had operated a asymptomatic patient, but in a post-operative event, in the post-operative time, if he develops certain serious event, then it is not because of your surgery, it is because of COVID. He has to understood, and he has to give a separate consent has to be taken for that, and many hospitals has that protocol. During OT, you minimize your staff. So your only expert staff should be there inside the OT. Otherwise, all staff should be out. If in a 2-tier or 3rd-tier city, if you are planning a 7 surgeries in a day, probably it could not be possible because you have to expect a longer duration of time for donning and doffing of the event. Even after intubation or extubation, you might require air to go filtration. So you have to extend your, probably if you are finishing in 1 hour, you may take 1.5 hours for all safety precautions. So all strategies should be there to protect yourself and your staff. In a urology, yes, till now on a 15 days lockdown, we were doing only emergency cases like either torsion or either obstructed kidney or either having frank blood in a CF bladder patient with very decreased hemoglobin. But now, as the lockdown has been extended, definitely stage 3 and 4 cases are justifiable. Those who are renal tumor with a large mass or either cystectomy, nephrouretrectomy or obstructed system for the stone. Definitely we should do such cases only at present. All routine circumcision, benign nephrectomies, reconstructive urology, andrology, even TURP, if you can definitely postpone, you should postpone till the time of lockdown complete. Even for robotic and laparoscopic, there are very much debate going on whether laparoscopy should be done or not. I will come to that later on. But yes, in a malignancy, in a cystectomy, with cystectomy you can do in a patient will having a gross hematuria or any post-operative or complication, where if you had operated previously and now patient is having complication, you have to do that surgery. Otherwise, you should postpone it. It seems also we had one case that older age lady came in the end of March with the frank blood, hematuria, low hemoglobin because of huge bladder loss. We have to do an emergency cystectomy for that. I and my colleague has done. Ultimately, we are healthcare workers, so we have to risk versus benefit ratio. We have to adjust it. Yes, operation theater should be of negative pressure room. Anyway, in India, we do not have, by and large, all are laminar flow and there are positive pressure. So even after your surgery has been done today, for next 24, you might have exposure of positive pressure and you might have exposure of this virus. So beware of that, take all precautionary PPE and all this required. Experienced anesthetist should intubation and extubation. No training should be done during this procedure. At present, utmost care has to be taken during intubation and extubation because direct aerosol transmission, though it is less, may occur. 100% fresh air exchange should be done in OT. And utmost ideal that desirable that separate OR for COVID and non-COVID patient, but it is very difficult in our scenario. But at least what we can do is that standard surface cleaning after surgery. You have to give time for at least half an hour to 1 hour in between the two surgery. And all surgical instrument has to be cleaned by alcohol-based solution at least for 30 minutes, and then you submit for CSSD. So PPE should be done for all surgery until and unless you have a COVID test available. Even though you had done a COVID test, the testing of COVID has a 25% false negative. So you had done a COVID patient, come to have a negative COVID, that doesn't mean that this patient is not having corona infection. He might have a later on, might develop symptom. So all standard preventive measures, hand washing with soap, hand hygiene, gloves, mask, goggles, has to be done, and thorough body shower is also highly recommended after PPE. So for endourology, we are safe that viral RNA in urine sample is very much less. This article has been published by the Chinese urologist. And if you apply N95 mask to the patient, and if you have an adequate face shield, and yeah, you can prevent the splash, and you can go ahead with the endourological procedure later on. But whether that patient in a carrier stage, and if you do TURP, we don't know at present what are the risk of transmission. Another paper by Gudiogasti that all conservative management as far as possible should be done, but you have to divert the obstructed system, and if already you had diverted, you might have to do the procedure. But standard glutaraldehyde or endourology, or whether you are doing steroid or whether autoclave, all these are safe, considered in terms of COVID-19. Coming to the laparoscopy, yes, laparoscopy. In the last week of March, we all say that laparoscopy should not be done, but the blunt statement might not be so wiser. What is, we need to understand why laparoscopy should be avoided. That definitely risk of aerosol exposure. Then when you create a pneumoperitoneum, if your trocar are not proper, non-airtight exchange of instrument, even you put a small incision, sudden gush of the pneumoperitoneum, aerosol will leak. So these are potential risks. Even when you use a ultrasonic or harmonic energy used for 10 minutes, it will create a surgical smoke, and that might be harboring the virus. So, but if you are not offering laparoscopy, you might prolong the hospital stay of the patient, as well as bed utilization of the patient might require exposure to your healthcare staff as well as the patient of exposure of COVID. That is also one of the caveat for that. So when needed, it should be done by the experienced surgeon. Minimize time during the intubation and extubation. Air circulations has to be done. 20-minute rule is the most important. The 20-minute rule is that you, after intubation, you wait for 20 minutes, allow the air to circulate. After your surgery, again wait for 20 minutes to extubate, and even after extubation, when your patient is out, you again wait for at least half an hour to 20 minutes to air to circulate. So your number of procedures are going to reduce in a day, that is for sure. And definitely use N95 mask if available. So while doing laparoscopy or robotic surgery, you should have a tightly fitting trocar. Keep minimum intra-abdominal pressure, use minimal use of energy source, and you can, whenever you are using the energy source, you keep suction near it, so all smokes come out. And even while deflating the abdomen, you suck with your suction, and in your suction bottle, you can keep a hypochlorite solution. So whatever the air is going on, we might go into that bottle of suction, and possibly that it may not infect other. And standard filter, but we are lack of that in India. So surgical decision has to be made as per the individualization, available resources, and according to your staff and patient's need. Coming to the renal transplant, it is very difficult at present. It should not be done, but later on. Donor selection criteria, apart from the standard donor selection criteria, if any patient has an international traveler history of 28 days, you should avoid. If patient has a symptom of upper respiratory tract, or patient is in contact with the COVID positive patient, at least this donor should be avoided. For the recipient, minimize the use of immunosuppression, but steroids should not be stopped. These are the current recommendations for the transplant. But for the reconstructive urology, as far as possible, should avoid it. If progressive perineal urethroplasty under spinal anesthesia can be done, spinal anesthesia carries little bit less risk. But if you are planning to have a buccal mucosal urethroplasty, might carry risk. So as far as possible, you should avoid. Definitely andrology and male infertility, as far as possible, you should avoid in such scenario. Coming to our part of Gujarat, many urologists are doing freelancing practice. So one urologist is going from Ahmedabad to Anand or Nadiad, or one urologist is going from Ahmedabad to Idar or Himmatnagar or Khed Brahma. And if it is, whether he will transmit infection or whether he will carry from that part, that we do not know. So we should always adjust the risk versus benefit ratio, whether we are harming the patient or whether we are that we need to look it out. Again, related to available COVID test, which is around costing 4,000, and what PPE kit is available is that around standard PPE kit is available around 1.5 thousand to 2,000. So per surgery patient will have a minimum 10 to 15,000 cost will be higher. So suppose in a PPN package, someone says me you have to do URS in only 40,000 insurance company, they will not understand what are the high risk criteria. We need to educate our patient that he has to bear cost for safety of himself, ourselves and our staff. These are the standard recommendation that was already given in guidelines. I will not go in detail. Probably after 3rd May, we'll be doing war against the corona in OPD. This kind of mask, face shield, gloves, all gowns and everything we have to wear to become a safe. Believe me, that is PPE comes last when you control the hierarchy. So try to, as far as possible, avoid surgery at present. Those who are not avoidable, only do that. If you are substitution of surgery, do it, and PPE comes last. So availability of the kit is a big issue. Kit quality is a big issue. Even in Indian market, there are lots of things going on. So we need to adjust whether what PPE kit we are using is standard or not. That is again a doubt. So as far as possible, do minimum standard. But for endurological point of view, probably we will be safe. Suppose, if possible, do a teleconsultation at present. A teleconsultation already allowed by our Gujarat Medical Council. So particularly in that guideline, you can go ahead with the teleconsultation. COVID has teach us many things in the last 1 month. So never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.